Hey folks, we are going to continue production of map assets for the adventure that we're creating here, Crystals of Mabar. So let me check my signal, get through the official intro spiel, and then we'll get to work for 100 minutes, or maybe less, who knows. Let's see, checking my signal, one, two, three. Am I going through clear? Yeah, that sounds real good. All right, lock that down. Give me a second here to fire up the town criers. All right, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 4 or 5 years. And so there's a slew of work that I've previously created that there's links in the description down below that will lead them to you. They all have extensive free previews. So if you're here because you like art and cartography and stuff, you can click on the full preview button and open it up, and you'll see all the illustrations. There's probably about 150 of them. And if you are a D&D enthusiast, the content that I make is largely meant for both DMs and players to use together. So anywhere from level 1 to 20, depending on what the content is. So check it out. If you think it's cool, consider making a purchase to help me hit gold medal on these things, to have some bragging rights, and to further to encourage further misbehavior. So also, if you want to find out when I'm live in the future and see like pics and stuff that I do, you can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. Like I had published on Twitter here the illustration that I had finished yesterday on the Eberron, the Spelljammer art stream that I've been running Monday through Friday in the morning. So you can check that out if you want to see it. It was a really fun piece to make. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Best way to help the channel grow. We're at 220 subscribers right now. We're trying to climb up to 500 by the end of the year. And thanks a lot for everybody that's coming along on the ride. Speaking of which, what's up, Dreams? How you doing, guy? You just killing some time between your next gig? You got another game running? We created this cover back around episode 40. This one's file is Curse of Mabar, Crystals of Mabar cover 1027, which means we're approaching the anniversary of me having finished this cover. And there's one half of my brain is screaming how slow building reality can be, and the other side is I am loving the results of all of this, and I am really looking forward to it. But as always, I flog myself for being bound by time and space. So I really need to get over that. But God, what a challenge. So, hey, what's up? Hey, right on, my guy. Well, hey, if you want to stick around and kick it, that's awesome. I have no idea what we're going to get into tonight. So, we're just, kind of playing fast and loose like usual, right? Okay, great. So let's zoom back in and see where we're at so far. So we've got the merchant trail that is along the Carnwood here to the north. And this is a homestead. We have fields here, which we're looking at here as a representation of any size of cornfield that you would want. And then this is a pea patch of different veggies and stuff that the farmstead, the farmers were growing for their own personal eating. So the garden goes here, the fields are here. The house is here, and the barn goes here. So right now we're going to start sketching out the house and the barn, and see how far along that path we can get together. So, hey Alan, how are you doing? It's good to see you tonight. Let me adjust my window. I hate that heart. No one asked for you. Yeah, I think that's decent size, but I think we can do one better. Let's do this. Let's pop out the chat. I can make the text bigger. Let me drop this down. This way I can be chatting real time with you guys. There's no time delay. I'm gonna go check Mic, check. Yep, cool. We're coming through. There and okay, cool. So the chat should be good now, and we'll go like that. Here. Let's try that. And we'll see if things populate. If it gets stalled out, it gets stalled out. But, yeah. There we go. Okay, so farmhouse, 25 by 40 feet, I figure, which is going to be a 5 by 8 space. That might not be enough for a family. A barn of 40 by 80. That's going to be, what is that? 8 by 16. Thank you. Choice open. So let's see. Do we have enough space on this map here? Looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we got plenty of space. Okay, cool. So let's just drop a footprint down here. 25 by 40 is 5 by 8. We'll see if that feels right. Let's see. Crops done. And next will be houses. Sorry, it's the chat thing's goofy. I don't try that one often. I don't trust it. I keep wanting to stare at it. Let's drop some color in here. Yeah, so for newcomers, I'm here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday in the morning. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the Eberron, the Spelljammer Combats and Exploration book that I've been building. We do illustrations, diagrams, and stuff like that in the morning until that thing is done. Mondays and Thursdays, like tonight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Off. We do Eberron cartography. This is an 8th level adventure in Karnath in the world of Eberron. After the end of the last war. Yeah, I'm okay with this so far. I think maybe something like we do tokens and maps for the adventure that that we'll have layouts for once we're finished with the editing. We're taking a real casual approach to getting this thing done. I think everyone on the team is pretty much recognizing that I've got a long production line and there's no real hard rush to break their neck. It's like 2/3 done. But burnout is real, so I think we're gonna probably have some more. Well, I have no reason to even be concerned about how far along in the process we are right now, because again, I'm working on that Spelljammer book every morning, and that's taking for fucking ever. So, like, the idea that somebody should really rush on this right now on my behalf is just a little ludicrous. So. That is to say, I think everything's having like a really nice casual approach, and I am perfectly content with it, and I am in love with this adventure, and I am very much looking forward to sharing it on the market whenever the muse decides that's going to be. She knows what's right. So for now, we just keep building out all the assets that are eventually going to be in the adventure. It's got to get done one time or another. So I may as well just start knocking out right now, because these maps are the first thing I'm going to need to have built into the content when we finish layouts to be able to properly build things. So, like, you know, on a page, if I'm talking about the farmhouse on a page, I need a map for the farmhouse completed so I know how well it's going to fit on the page when I carve a hole in all the text to drop that in. So that's going to be really fun. I keep thinking about the landscape style. I've mentioned this a few times. Like, this is portrait style, right? When you got your 8.5 by 11, and you read your text down here, and you have 2 columns typically, and the picture is going to be somewhere here in the middle, or it's going to take at the bottom, or it's going to be like up here in the corner, something like that, right? But then there's also the landscape format, like this, and it doesn't read properly on, like, the DMsGuild doesn't the DMsGuild sampler. It doesn't do well with it because it has to show the full thing. So I think it clips it, which is really obnoxious because I like having all my stuff free preview. So if I'm going to do that, I kind of have to stay in this landscape, in this portrait format. But a landscape format lets me have 3 columns, albeit more narrow than it would be in the portrait format. But I can have like a 1/6 of a page. Like this map here can fit on a 1/6 of a page very comfortably. And you don't need to see it up close. You just need to see what the gist is. If you want to see it up close, get the file, the zip file when you purchase it, so that you can get a 2 scale 1 inch equals 5 feet map that you can have black and white and sprawl across your table as large as you want, or just drop it into the VTT and make it just easy to scroll through 75 inches worth of dungeon. So I love this format, but its presentation online is problematic. So I haven't reconciled that yet, but I don't have to yet. But this is the kind of stuff I have to be thinking about when I'm thinking about, like, if I'm going to chop up this map into like a 10 by 10 space, I can do that, and then I know like whether I'm going to have a square space here, or a square space brought to you by Squarespace here, or like up here, or if it's so big, like take up this whole block here and have only 1 column on this page. Like portraits like that are really flexible, like super fucking flexible, and I think it looks good because if you're going to use a tablet, your tablet is the shape of the landscape format of the page, so it's like it's really easy. Like I can even do a 16 by 11 ratio and have it be stout but wide, so I could have 3 columns. There won't be a lot per page, but it would be cinematic. It would fit your tablet exactly. So you can just flip through the pages, and it'll just keep scrolling upward. And if I do smart page breaks, like if I've got one page that breaks here, and I got another page that breaks here, and I've got a map going on, I could potentially have the map jump pages. And this is just negative space without any border. I could just, there's no reason why I wouldn't be able to do that. And if I build out the maps smart, that might actually look really cool. But I mean, I could do all this with the landscape as well. It's a different presentation space. So it's not quite the same to have like a jump gap here, because this is much less information that you're getting access to as it bridges. Using the wider page format, if you're only going to see like this much and then this much of the page, you're getting a lot of juice here in 3 columns. More so, I think, than the information that you would just get from 2 columns, right? Anyway, that's coffee talk. We're talking here. Let me just get rid of all this junk. But this is the stuff that I think about. So, and since we don't have all these maps done yet, I'm not being put to task yet. So, you got to finish the assets so you know how you can drop the assets into the document. That helps you sculpt the language, how much word you're going to have per page at the size of the map scale that you need for people to be able to interact with the content on the PDF without necessarily having to open the zip file to at least make sense of what it is. So complicated. But we're figuring it out, and we're taking our time. It's cool. Literally the only person that has scolded me about how long this stuff is taking has been me. So I think everyone else just feels bad. This feels bad for me. It's like, oh God, poor Phil. He's got to stream art again. Poor bastard. All right, so we have a farmhouse here, right? So that's going to say we need to have a stove. Nope. Yeah, this could work if, the family's cozy. it is 10 feet. That's some horrible feng shui right there. Let's see. Come in here and then. It's a good place for it. Yeah, and then let's go with. Yeah, that makes sense. Put a deck here. This stuff is so fun to do. I really enjoy cartography. I honestly didn't fall in love with building like 5-foot scale mapping until I started this project. It's been a real joy. And I love how they look when they're done. Hey, how you doing? You've been around before, haven't you, Zoran? Or do I just have an unusually large amount of people in my life with letter Z in their name? I'm going to scoot this one over here to like that. How far are we right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, 11, technically. So is that what we go down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're where we're at. So let's do that. We'll keep inside that 10-foot space, and let's see how we're doing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're doing great. Awesome blossoms, y'all. We're going to do okay here. So let's build this out here. Hey-o. We're Zoran, I don't know if you're familiar with the channel or not, honestly. So well met, and I'm glad you're here. We're building a farmstead. So just to catch you up again, we're looking at a farmhouse, a barn, a garden, and fields. So we spent the last couple episodes, the first 2 episodes, building out the corn mazes and the garden. So that these are little separate pieces that we can provide. They're all basically 10 by 10, 10 by 10s. All these are 10 by 10 squares. So I'm keeping this 10 by 10 theme right now. With these maps as well. I know I'm going to have to break frame with the farm, the barn, because the barn is going to be 40 by 80. So I won't be able to do that, but it can do a 2 by 2 space. Like it can fit within obviously within a 100 by 50 foot space. So that's 2 of these together. So that's close enough. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just rough sketching the things. There's a lot of previous sessions that I spent on the thorp that this barn is satellites. And why am I in a realm of? It's in a realm of void. There we go. Let's fix that. Is it around? Thank you. So yeah, we built out a whole bunch of buildings on the Thorpe map, and so there's like I've said in numerous other sessions that there's like 20 some odd farms. That hey, there's my 20-minute marker. That is my cue to drink some tea. Oh, mango tea. I like mango. It's good. I had daikon today. I've had daikon on burgers before. Pickled daikon. Daikons are a type of radish, right? So yeah, I decided to pick up daikon at the grocery store. It cooks just like carrots. So I diced up some and put them on a salad, raw, for just like some different textured roughage. If it gets thin enough, it has like that craspiness. You know, it's too coarse, and yeah, coarse is a good word. Too coarse to be crispy. But it has that same satisfying to it. So it's crispy. And so that's really when you saute it down with sauce or whatever. I just used soy sauce and some rice. It was fabulous. So I thought I'd just share that with y'all. I'm going to turn that up to. There we go. Let's get that out there. A little off. But the 16th bear was just frickin' right. Jasmine crew, dude. Hit your mark, son. Sometimes I can just absolutely nail a curve, and sometimes I can't hit a line to save my soul. These are like 3-point shots of art, you know, like being able to properly gauge if are you like actually in alignment with the line that you need to hit, like dead on or not. Like these are skill shots that artists get to make, and as your level of skill continues to improve, you can make more and more outlandish shots, like being able to have things line up or something. You know, I failed that shot, but I didn't have any plans. But that's the point. Like I could have done that, and maybe it could have like lined up perfectly and bloop, lands just solid with the line. You know, it's like just, and then you like nail that line, or you hit that color perfect, or that curve, or whatever it is, that whatever skill shot you identify. These are those little hits of dopamine that you get for performing at a high level, you know. And by high level, I mean that you're so in tune with your body that you know your angles, you know what your specific biometric, your mechanical movement, like the technical movement your body has to make to hit the degrees of arc that are necessary, or the distance, or being able to eye that perspective perfectly. These are all skill shots that artists acquire by achieving high levels of basically, like I said, skill mastery. So when you only gain that level of perfection, not to say that I'm perfect, mind you, but the point is that I can hit my shot sometimes pretty good, and like that I was off a little bit, so screw you. But there you go, shot. So the it doesn't sound like a lot to be able to hit your marks, but if you can hit your marks perfect, you don't have to erase anything or go back again. It's always easier just to hit it perfectly the first time, right? It's just easier to do it that way. So the more often you can actually hit the exact marks that you intended on when you started the motion, the less you have to keep trying again, because an artist like this is continuously, like every time I draw a line, I am practicing. Was this what I needed? Is this the precision that I wanted? Was this an efficient movement? This is breaking down your art. This is like a swimmer analyzing their stroke to see how much efficiency they can pull out of the mass that they're moving, you know? That might not be the proper terminology, but I'm not a swimmer, dude. So backs. I need to get it all the way off my back about that swimming information. Let's get on point, shall we? Grass. But that precision, when you hit those marks, there is a self-satisfaction of knowing that you earned the ability to do that. You didn't luck into that. You weren't born perfectly incapable of just doing that like a Disney movie. You had to learn how to do that, and you did. And so every time you can hit your mark, it's a celebration of your persistence, and you're willing to endure it, and that creates a chemical dopamine hit for the body, self-pride, finding reasons to be proud of yourself, even if it's as outrageous as, look how mighty I am at opening this tin can. I conquered crushing that Coke can. It's like you can take claim of that, because there is, infinite teams of little proteins inside of your muscles that are grinding it out to make sure that you're able to crush that can in the first place, and they're all doing their job perfectly. Like, that's a high five moment at the Ford factory, The more you can recognize these components as being part of your body, like, look how well your kidneys process blood. I pray that you can do that forever. It's self-serving, but it's also just good motivation. So we're talking about like dopamine hits and getting, skill shots and stuff. So yeah, we were talking about that on Indestructiboy's on his Discord channel earlier today. I was anyway. There was a lot of discussions going on, but the point I was trying to make in the larger discourse of the conversation of AI in general, from an artist's perspective, is that people that use AI to create art aren't. The argument was, are these guys artists or aren't they? Or what's the audacity of them calling themselves artists? And I would say an artist is somebody that gets a dopamine rush when they complete something to the level of satisfaction that they believe it achieves their goal. You are not an artist if the only time you get a dopamine kick from your efforts is when you get likes on social media. So because you don't have any connection to the thing that you created, it's just being generated. Like, that's literally the term. There's no emotional connection. You don't even know what the end result is going to be. But there's no process of discovery. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do in a lot of my paintings when I start them either. So it makes me laugh, because the actual rendering process of AI feels very similar to what I experience as I'm creating a piece. Like, it just gets into view of what it's going to be, and then there you go. You've got an illustration, and that's pretty much what I don't know, Midjourney or whatever. That's pretty much what they do. So I'm thinking maybe these should open outward. Yeah. Flop vertical. That way the interior space can afford to be smaller. See, this is called architecture, my friends. And I'm not really good at it. But I at least think about toilets occasionally. Like, an artist, like, seriously, I can toil. I mean, you've seen it. I can toil away for 60 hours on a map. And the reason I can do it is because I've had so many successes in creating large-scale illustrations that I know it's going. Like, I have the anticipation of it's going to look really fucking good when it's done, and when it is, there is a massive dopamine kick. So like give me a cigarette, baby, like massive. And once that comes down, though, I have to start the next piece to get my next rush. I post things on social media, but to me, that's more like marketing than looking for praise. I like seeing the likes because it's recognition from the audience and peers that I have that I do good work. So obviously praise is appreciated, as always. But I don't do it for the praise. It's for the book, because the book creates a satisfaction that I create content good enough that people are willing to give it money. And that creates that's also like asking for likes, very much so. But you can't get people's money unless you're producing something that they legitimately think is good. You can like anything for free. That's easy peasy. But actually, like, throwing your money at it, it's like that's someone saying, I actually believe in you. And it's a completely different vibe. And that one actually takes professionalism, effort, and passion, which AI doesn't produce. So anyway, that's my rant. That was my. I don't remember why I started on this particular rant, but here we are now. So cheers to that, I guess, right? I've got your opinions right here. Hey, that lines up very nicely. Cheers. Free transform again. there, and then we'll take that circle. I always do that circular post because it's just a fulcrum. It's just the doors are just levers. So I like having them awry like that. I think maybe I'll have like this one be more like boom boom, like half cocked like that. There's text going on down there. What's up? Zero, not good at meow. The joke's on you, because these are just big rectangles, my friend. I can just go steal rectangles. Oh, I made it easy on myself this time around. These aren't the nice, look at our beautiful little townhouses. These are, I'm out in the, you know, in the boonies fighting coyotes over corn. I don't know if coyotes fight over corn or not. What's up, Nitro? It's good to see you, guy. Glad you're here. I'm taking over this town. Nitro, dude, how's your team? Did you guys get back together? For anyone that doesn't know, Nitro is actually running. He had play tested this as a player for me numerous times, and has since then gone on to graduate as playing it as a DM and giving me feedback on how things have come along. And I have been just thrilled with how much you can just grab the content and just homebrew with it. Like this, it's like it. I wanted it to feel like a toolkit. Like, here's an adventure scenario, but it's actually things that you can push around, move, and rearrange pieces to make it do what you want it to do. And I feel like I actually accomplished that goal, because I want to do the same sort of style of adventure for other stuff in the future. And if it's hitting good marks, then I want to lean into this idea. There's other adventures that I think would be super fucking cool to build, but these, like I said, these things do take time, so I don't want to overcommit myself right out the gate, but I dream to be there. Where are we at on our own map? Russia. Transform equals flip particle. So I asked the AI to do random stuff like Garfield and Friends singing St. Caroline. That's pretty goddamn legendary, my man. Midjourney is kind of my main journey. That's great. I also kind of steal color schemes from things that makes colors hard, and that. I may keep that in mind. Thank you. As somebody who doesn't see any color, that is a very interesting revelation for me. So I appreciate you having said that very much. I feel that is a space that I may wish to explore in the future. I'm going to take this and merge that down like that. Does that feel right? No, it does not. That's what's going on, and that's what's going on. Got it. This got in between those two things. Sometimes I get lost in my files. So, perfect. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. Yeah, thanks again for that, man. That's very interesting. We'll see. Like if I'm ever really stretching for a color for being able to get some color stuff going on, I can find references pretty easily just off of like Pinterest. But it's nice to know that I have a legitimate, valid reason to give. Hold on, I fuckered up again. God, I'm gonna get this right eventually. There we go. Okay, now I got all my lines straight. Burp. There we go. That's what I needed to do. that's going to be okay like that. Yeah. One sec. All. Free transform. Yeah, AI for accessibility is a good thing. Like, yeah. Yes. That's a keen point. Excellent example, my man. Let's take this base here. Stretch that out just a touch. We'll just connect on through there. I was going to be running this tomorrow, but we decided to go on a hiatus until late November. Okay, haven't run a session since. I talked about it last, thinking about cooking and PC rivals. Right on. Yes, I like how many factions you're throwing in. That's super fun. I asked the journey for shades of orange, and it gave me a face. Whoa. Thanks for the warning. Are you guys Nitro? Did you guys take a break from gaming altogether, or just from that particular adventure? Floating Leaf. I hear this song on other YouTube channels fairly frequently. Skill shot. Missed my mark. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of futzing. I don't know if this is the most exciting session or not, but I'm just doing all the things I got to get done. Let's go with move, and then I found out I can hold down the shift key when I have the moving tool, and it forces you to stay in a vertical line. So I don't have to press the arrow key anymore. I literally just found that out yesterday. Changed my life. I see you. I see you. Look at those perfect lines. Perfect marks. Perfect marks. Perfect marks. Let's grab a chunk of that. Like out to here. And yeah. Let's do like this. Yeah, copy paste, and then we go free transform equals flip horizontal period. V equals, oops, I done that wrong. I just needed to copy then paste, and then equals free transform equals flip horizontal V nope burp. Whoa. There. Where are we at in here? Here and yeah, that can go. Just like that. And that means we can get rid of this. What? This is available. You're playing. Are you playing MLP? 20-minute marker. Please proceed. could do that. Or we could just do that instead. Let's just make it difficult and do that instead. I hear with my ear. What the deuce? Gobble, gobble, do. Hold on. Oh, you have actual horses. That's wonderful. Horses are amazing. I grew up on a ranch. I took care of horses since I was 5. I didn't do a really good job when I was 5. I almost got my Shetland pony killed by having him by accidentally opening a gate, and she pushed right past me and ran into the corral, but she hadn't been acclimated to the rest of the horses yet, so they nearly kicked her to death. God, it terrified me. The shit still haunts me sometimes. Horses make the most hideous sounds when they're in pain. That was brutal, man. You know, a 5-year-old doesn't know anything. And this was a 600-pound Shetland pony, and I was a 5-year-old kid, like 40 pounds at most. It just knocked me aside and ran right in. It knew where it needed to be, and it was in the middle of that pack. Whew. Nothing I could do. My dad literally punched one of the horses and knocked it on its ass. He literally knocked a horse off of its feet by punching it. Never seen that. That man was a god. I did not expect to be thinking about my dad tonight. It's wonderful that I am. He passed away last year. He had a brain tumor come in and knock him out. So he passed out in his sleep. Or, you know, passed on in his sleep. You can't pass out if you're asleep. You already have the incapacitated condition, buddy. You only get that condition once. There we go. Yeah, this is coming along pretty nicely, right? We're making houses here. Let's think about how doors work. Let's do that. We'll duplicate this one. Hey, duplicado. Aye. Horses are amazing. They're just giant dogs. They're just adorable. Peter. And then we'll duplicate that layer and we'll free transform. We'll flip vertical. We'll undo that, and then we'll instead rotate it 180 degrees. Man, that is a little goofy, isn't it? Okay. Blip equals. There. Just have it open outward. So shut up. There. I'll have the back one open outward too. You know, I just can't do that. It's just such a. It's such a shitty security risk. You shouldn't have your only door open outward because you can't force it shut if somebody pulls it away from you. You want to always be able to push the door shut. I'm not so much in favor of like the kids' room. I'm in favor of the door opening outward because the kid can't control the door being open and closed, assuming there's no lock on the inside. But you can shove this door shut on a kid if you want to keep him in his room. Likewise, the parents' room should have a door that opens inward so that they can use that as a last bastion against invaders, and they can control whether the door is open or closed from inside of the room as a safety feature. So that's kind of how you want to have things jive. I don't want to have the door butting up against a corner here. You always want it open so that you can get leverage to push the door shut, because if somebody's pushing the door open this way and the wall is in the way from getting behind it, you can't close that door. So they're just going to push it open, and now they're inside your home. From this side, you can at least have a tug of war of trying to be able to push the door shut and be able to, you know, stab at any arms or feet or whatever that's preventing the door from properly closing. It's just a defense point. So anyway, I don't know if people think about doors or stuff like that, but you really need to be thinking about what are you doing with your doors when it comes to home defense. This is, I guess, public service announcement from an unofficial ninja. Free transform. Flip vertical. There we go. Zoom. I don't know why I needed to do that. I just felt like I did. Probably didn't even matter. Yeah, it really did not matter. You know what? Let Bob become your uncle. Look at that. Are you unreal? Unreal. Yep. Pretty freaking dope. So on point. I love it. That's the skill shot I'm talking about. Like when things line up like that, that's just super smooth. God, look at that. It's perfect. That just lines up. When the math just works out, you know, that's the dopamine surge. And then the surge wears off, and I know the next surge will come when I find the next challenge. So I'm pushing the piece. If there is no challenge in this piece, I'm naturally going to start pushing myself to have better art, because when the dopamine, so the level of quality in your art that you have, you don't become discontent with the art. You become discontent with the lack of dopamine being released as a result of creating art that's already within your skill curve. If you aren't pushing yourself to do bigger, better than what you've done before, then eventually the heroin kick of dopamine is going to not be enough of a dose to get you flying at the level that you want to, for the level of, for the work that you're putting in. So that forces you, at least it forces me, to push myself. Like, what am I missing? What's the next level I can figure out? Like, where's my roll ball function in Metroid? I don't know where it's at yet. I have to explore this dungeon of artistic discovery using, the creative process as the metaphor in this conversation. But once I get that ball, then I can get bombs, and then we can go to places we couldn't go before. And then I don't know if you ever played Metroid, man, but you beat something, you get a new tool you can now discover and go to an area you couldn't go before. Massive dopamine punch. That's why people love Castlevania, Metroidvania games in the first place, is because you get denied access to stuff until you're challenged to find the tool that you need to access the next area. And if it's illustrated like, God, what was that Fae? There was like a fairy world with like all these bugs and stuff, but it was also a very Metroidvania game. It was like 2000. I want to say it was 2001, 2000, maybe 2000 that it came out. And like something would, or I don't know. Anyway, I've lost it. I'll see the game again. But God, it was amazing. But it was gorgeous. But it was a very Metroidvania sort of video game. So it was done well. So of course it smashed, because it's a fucking Metroidvania game that has a beautiful theme to it. So it can't fail. If the story is good, if the abilities you gain from the level ups are cool, and if the narrative is somehow awesome or adorable, you're gonna crush it with Metroidvania. I think it was Bifey that was talking about video games, approaching RPGs like video games, and I think Wizards of the Coast did, but they would have done a lot better with it if they had allowed everyone else to use the license. Sick burn. Dunking on Wizards is too easy. That should be nice. I think I wanna. I don't want it to. Yeah, I wanna. Let's get this thing down like that. Yeah, I choose you, Pikachu. I like these dark synth sort of songs that I've got on my playlist now. I hear a lot of good synth and lo-fi stuff on YouTube, and I always want to listen to it, but I never can figure out when it says, royalty-free music, if they mean only if you pay them, or is it actually free and I can just go ahead and use this. And to be perfectly honest, I never ask somebody, so the question is never answered, because I just feel like it's no, and why bother? It sounds like a bunch of hassle to find out that, yeah, I'm gonna have to pay money, and it's like I don't think I'm ready to do that for that music yet. But I'm not that far, man. Good music's good music. So we want to Bob's your uncle. Take this down to here. Copy, paste, free transform. Very cool. Yeah, when I finished the current commission that I've been painting on Saturdays, I'm going to start using that morning space for campaign design. I've got a Martial Powers playtest that I want to conduct for 3rd to 7th levels, and I want to make a hex crawl campaign so that there's plenty of combat, exploration, and social as well as mana type challenges to sap resources from the team, just to see what they like. The point is to find out what sort of powers are they leaning into, like where are the outliers that are like the automatic picks, like where are the must-haves, right? And there's so many of them spread out across the levels that I don't think there's, I think there's more must-haves than there are levels of powers than you can know. So it's I feel like in that sense it's pretty well designed, but I want to see, because until now, like at my home table, I've been handing out different powers for them to use, like use this one, and then they do for a while, like great, now use this one, and as a DM I get to see what kind of an impact these things have on the game, and so far they're cool and they catch me off guard a lot, but it never ruins me as a DM. Like there's no power in there that outscales anything else that's already in Dungeons and Dragons. It just approaches it from a different angle. So and it's flexible, so the team can do a lot of shit. And so I underestimate their ability to knock things down and stuff. But I generally don't care about hit point totals anyway. They aren't outsmiting a paladin in 5e standard vanilla. So there's nothing there. You know, there's nothing wrong going on there. It's at worst, it's like having a couple extra paladins on your team, which if you haven't had that happen before, that's a really great opportunity for you to find out how all your gods can be pissed off at the same thing together and just have a really great holy war. Good times. Good times. Heavily motivated adventurers there. Had a Paladin of Vengeance and a Oath of the Ancients decide that they actually that they worship the same god, and that god was the betrayed. So it was they worked together to avenge their betrayed god against their enemies. Super fucking cool. It's cool to take like clerics and paladins and like things of faith like that and bend their narrative so they can all be of the same, like have the same piety, but be able to express them in very different ways. Because I mean, like, flavor is free, right? It's just how cool are you gonna get with it? One of my friends had a warlock that had the Archfey patron, and the way that he would get spells is by putting a mirror in front of the fire. And he would meditate, and it would open up a window to the fairy world, and all of his followers would start liking him being there, and he would talk about what the adventuring day was about. So he'd be the team's scribe and keeping recaps of the adventure, but at the same time he's narrating it like he's talking to his pixie fan base back in the Feywild. And it's like, god damn, that is so awesome. So, and as he gained levels and he got more powers, he's like beseeching his crowd to help fund his project of like defeating this enemy or whatever. Whatever it is. But that is some of the coolest flavor. It's so camp. But it's so fucking perfect. So big shout out to Edgar. That stuff is righteous, man. You play D&D fucking right, my guy. There. This is a nice little... cooking oven. I like that little fireplace. I think that's cool. But when we're here, this is an abandoned barn house. So we can have this one. We can also have one that's populated. We can just have just one barn. I'm not gonna make you 20 different fucking barn houses. Don't be greedy. But we can build barn houses that are, you know, good enough to get the job done. So, but what I need to do is where'd my village go? Hold on. There. We have the entire Thorpe on this map. We just kind of duplicated it and added and started adding more layers, which is when I pop open all of them together, it's like 55. It's like 50 folders that I all just popped open at the same time, and there's kind of a drag there. But I'm stairway hunting right now. There we go. That's how I did them. Okay. Danku. I guess I could technically leave this open, right? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Merge down. Here. That's pretty good. I really like the Fightercraft ambush piece that I completed yesterday because the style that seems to be emerging from that is a really like a clean edge, crisp comic book sort of feeling to it, and for fantasy art, I really like that vibe. It's almost like it's just basically colorized pen and ink is what it feels like to me. But I'm really liking how that look overall is coming across. It's kind of cartoony. But it feels, I don't know, it just feels stronger than that. Anyway. That is to say, I'm really enjoying how these Spelljammer pieces are coming out. I'm loving how the commission on Saturday is coming out. God, that is a really fun piece. I did that wrong, didn't I? It's square edge at the bottom, circle at the top. Nope, I did it right. Good. Good. Let's do it again. Merge. Copy, paste. Zoom out. Keep on over to here. I'm gonna turn this. Yeah, so Saturday, when that painting gets done on Saturday, we're going to start doing development for the Martial Powers playtest stuff. It's I'm going to do I am going to... Yeah, I'm going to go with Ravnica. I've talked about this a little bit before in the past, but I've decided I'm going to see if I can get people on board with playing a Ravnica hex crawl with me. Because Ravnica is famously, I've ranted about this on many occasions in the past. So, cheers to that. I'll rant about it some more because I love it. But yeah, Ravnica is a city, is a world covered by one city, and it's been covered over and over and over and over again. That the actual surface of the planet is like miles down underneath all of the undercity that's been buried underneath the new level of city when the new wave of autocrats or whoever take over society. They have to be higher in the sky than their predecessors. So the cities are continuously pushing upwards, which causes more deeper dungeons of fused and crushed building that becomes a new bedrock, basically out of the street concrete used to make the buildings. And then you'll have, for those that are interested, the Izzet League is in charge of engineering and architecture and infrastructure design. But it's Rakdos, both of which are red mana organizations, guilds. And but Rakdos is a mining operation, and often a question people ask, like, what do you mean by mining? It's like, because they go down into the under depths of the city, and all of the buildings so far down get compressed into stone, and there's still passages and corridors and caverns and pockets and stuff, like, you know, a good Underdark should be. But Ravnica style, it's compressed building that fuses into a new type of concrete. So they go down into these dungeons and carve out these compressed buildings and then bring them back up to the surface to be repurposed for new building blocks to continually stack up on top of each other. And if they do a good job, they can maintain elevation. But every now and again, the worms come through. And the world worms are 25 some odd miles long and like 1,000 feet thick. So they'll come burrowing through buildings to feed or whatever it is that they're going on after. And occasionally they'll like have mating season or whatever, and they'll surface and just dig tracks, miles, potentially hundreds of miles of tracks that just destroy all city on the surface level, so it all becomes rubble. And so it looks like these belts of just destruction, like giant streets carved through of destruction through these these valleys of destroyed building mass. And they're called rubble belts, and they get neglected for centuries because the infrastructure challenge of getting all that power grid and all the stuff rebuilt and up and running again is like, we'll just build another story over there. So it goes fallow, and then it gets taken over by the Gruul clans, and it becomes free land, where Gruul clan creates a buffer between the guild members and the non-guild wilders that are out in the wilderness, basically being Mad Max people. So I want to do a hex crawl going through this terrain of varying elevation rises and lowers, and each hex is a different color, which gives different mana that you would use depending on which two colors your character chooses for their mana. If they're in a hex that uses one of the colors that they're devoted to, they can tap into the land to be able to restore mana for their martial powers more easily, or more quickly. So like gain the sorceress, or the word I'm looking for is like arcane recovery. Like you can get back 1 point of mana for like each rank of power that you gain. Once per short rest, you can take a bonus action to get that many points back. Anyone can do it. So like something like that. So we can do a random. I'm just wanting to do a random table of different hexes, the type of creatures that are going to be in the hexes, and have a blend of different combat, exploration, and magical challenges that the team may have to overcome to be able to progress in that hex. And each hex has dungeons in them. So I'll need to have a dungeon, like a random dungeon builder that I can serve up when the team wants to go into a hex, and then dive underneath the hex to go into the Underdark of the place, or go into one of the decaying towers and go up the dungeon to the top of the tower. I can have encounters and challenges and magical traps set up in all of these locations. And if I do it as a random build, then we can just do a hex crawl where we don't know what the next hex are going to be like, but we'll random them up since it's just a play test. Continuity isn't all that important. Just creating challenges in a loose theme is all I really need for playtesting. So by building out as a hex crawl, it doesn't really matter who shows up, as long as enough people show up to throw some dice around. And if they do, what hex do you want to explore today? And like, you know, each color can, like, for example, you could have I could assign a different mission for each color of mana. Since there's 5 manas, there can be 5 different goals. Red. If you have red mana, your goal is you know that there is a communications tower somewhere in the rubble belt. It's going to be in a red hex. So if you find red hexes, you can explore them to see if there's a red hex that rises up instead of sinks in. You know that higher elevation probably means that that's where the signal tower is going to be at, and you can, like, if you're stranded in the rubble belt, you can call for help. So like that's a way for you as a red mana character to achieve your goal. Whenever you're in a red hex, there's a chance that there's going to be, if it's a higher elevation, there's going to be even sinking and rising. So you can build towers on rising hexes, and you can build pitfalls and sinkholes on descending hexes. But they'll either be going up or down. And so when you're on a rise, that's in a red hex, you'll have a chance of there being a structure that has a communications tower. So you're hex crawling around, hoping that you're going to random into a red hex, that your red mana characters can use their red mana to reactivate the signal, which may be able to get a ship to come and pick you guys up and get out. But each of the colors may have their own own thing that they're trying to achieve. And that'd be something that we'd have to figure out, which is why I want to do these things on the Saturday morning stream when I'm done with my commission, because I think that'd be a really fun thing to do. And then once that's built out, once my Monday my Monday, Thursday, or Saturday is freed up, after the Spelljammer project is done, I can officially launch my Martial Powers playtest. And I would think by then I'll have all the subclasses done, so you'll have a full book of things to pick from. And we're just officially playtesting stuff and just refining language and making adjustments as we go. And have it be like a campaign from like level 3 to 7, like run it for 4 or 5 months maybe. And just see what happens. So I think that'd be super fucking fun. I'm going to give first options to anyone that joins my Patreon. So if you want to be at the table, I won't be streaming it unless everyone insists that we do. But I find if you aren't on camera, you can be free to do stupid things and make mistakes, and not have to worry about how you look as a result of it. Just being free and just being friends, throwing some dice around and having shenanigans, and not having to worry about how's this going to look? Is this appropriate for social media? Do I have to curb your enthusiasm about something for optics or whatever? It's like, I don't want to have those conversations. Other people are welcome to, like, if somebody wants me to live stream and play test this stuff, I'll happily do it. I just don't ever expect that to happen. I just wouldn't volunteer or offer it. I just don't think it's still think it's a good idea. So anyway, that's my 2 cents about it. But yeah, that's going to be a thing. So I'm going to offer that. Patreons have first option to seats if they, if the times line up and they want in. If you're a Patreon, you're in. There's no guarantee that Patreons will have attendance, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I've got a fence here. I can steal that fence. So if you are interested in the playtest, you should join my Patreon. Because that's where we're going to end up posting all the playtest. That's where we post all our playtest content anyway. So that means that there's that and there's that. Good. So that means that all this playtest hex crawly stuff is going to be on the Patreon eventually as well. But be welcome to reach out to me if that's something you're interested in. Blah 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 blah. Let's go into. Yeah, let's just duplicate the fence for now. Go to here. Here. Since we already have fences built, I'm just going to gank them and use them here. So let me see if these are broken down in any particular way. I also have my my home table is concluding the 20 level campaign very, very soon. So I need to start thinking about where we're going to go with that next campaign as well. Really? Did I copy that whole thing? Nope. Cool. Let's grab that. Now I'm feeling like I want the cottage to be facing the other way. Huh. Figuring things out. There. Like that. Crops, fields. Feels pretty right. Oh, I like that. Just line those up. That's cute. That's super cute. That's a cute little cottage sort of thing to do. And then let's push the crops up. This is super cool. What a fun little homestead. I'm really happy with this. Really, really happy with this. Having a lot of fun here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need to pull these gates in a bit. So let's see. We need to. Barn. We need to be thinking about the barn. Timely timer, keeping time, thinking timer. It's 9:30. Okay, this is our last 20-minute kick for the night, kids. But I think we're doing some good stuff here. I'm really liking how this is all shaping up. Flip horizontal now, baby. think I need to pull the P patch down. Because all the supplies for this would be kept in the barn, so it makes sense that this door is near the barn. Oh, okay. That makes sense. We can do that. Baka. We can take all of this. And pull it up. Like that. Yeah, the garden being this far away from the barn, that does not make sense. Okay, good move. Good change. Good change. Good change. Good change, team. Good change. Good change. Let's close that up here, and we'll go this, and then... So if there's artists that are checking out this channel, all the brushes that I use to create this different type of vegetation and leafiness, I have a pretty wide array of brushes here that I believe you can see on stream. Yeah, you can see that stuff. Cool. Yeah, so I've got a pretty wide array of files I keep in an ASB file. If I can get to 500 subscribers, I will provide, there's a lot of the tools that just come with Photoshop originally, but there's also a bunch of brushes in here. I'm gonna pluck out the ones that are that aren't experimental, that I think are polished and good to use, and I'll update that brush file, and I'll make that available on my Patreon for free for anybody. It'll be, I guess, the first thing I put in my store, and if I get to 500 subscribers, I will put the brushes on my on my Patreon for free, and then I will also start putting stock art on there for folks. And anyone that's I think the way I'm going to do it is anyone can buy stuff from me for single use, or if you are a subscriber to my Patreon, then you have you can use my work over and over and over again, as long as your book is published while you are a subscriber to my Patreon. So, and I'll start putting up like my landscape stuff, all my creature art, blah blah blah, like all the stuff that are in my books. Since I'm going to be updating all of my Color Mana books in 2024 anyway, it's a great opportunity for me to pull those things apart and to see what would actually make good stock art content or not, and just put it up there and make it available for folks as a perk. So or like have it on sale, but like if you're a subscriber, like give you a buck off everything, or who knows, whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do. That might be too crazy. But yeah, these are all brushes. These are all distinct brushes that I used. So they're all the same brushes that I use to make wilderness and environmental pictures, like Bob Ross style. So I just thought I'd put that plug in there real quick, since I'm plugging stuff. So houses, and this is gonna be our barn. So now we're starting on our barn. So like this as just the basic structure. Granted, we don't have a roof yet, so we'll get there, Nitro. But yeah, this is the basic structure of the farmhouse. It's got a kid's room. It's got a parent's room. It's got a very large open room. It's got a generous back deck. It's got a front porch. It's got defensible doors. It's got a heating source in the form of a wood-burning fireplace / oven. It's within, yards of the pea patch for making food. On the other side, you got the cornfields, and so that means that we want to drop the barn in between the fields and the pea patch right here. So that is what we are now working on. What is going on with you? Oh, my shift button's been sticking a lot. Hey, Tyler, it's good to see you, my guy. How you doing? Yes. Where are inside of this piece. Delete. There. And we can go steal stall doors from the stable that we built inside of the Thorpe. So I'm just going to first start off with just building the general structure. I'm on for like another 15 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes left. So we'll start setting some space here, build our frame, and don't expect to get any further today. Let's go down to here. Let's outsmart the there. It's like an elevator. Love it. Going to merge down, cut, paste. What's going on? Hey, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 40 feet wide. You're doing these fucking hearts, man. Hate the hearts. Nothing I can do about it. Life is torture. But yeah, that hex crawl, I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to building that out. Morge that down, duplicate the layer, clip, clop, and then free transform equals flip vertical. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Whoa, you're off the page. Let's start over. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Oof, boy, you're using up the space, ain't you, buddy? Do you need a barn that big, son? Seems a bit big, son. 80, 75, 60, 65, 60. I reckon 3 horses, probably 3 horses and a cow. So probably 2 cows, maybe 2 pigs. 3 horses, 2 pigs, 2 cows. Wintertime can get really nasty that far up north, so they should, if it's a homestead, they should be able to stable all their critters so they don't freeze outside. Like if you're gonna do like a lot of cattle, you want to go down towards the Talenta Plains where the latitude is lower. It's not gonna have such a hard chill. Carnwood gets nasty, Jack Frost style winter forest, nasty shit. This feels right in size. We'll go with this. What are you glitching on down here, dude? For realsies. Huh. Starting to watch Utopia again. Really funny that it came out in 2020. I don't know if you've seen Utopia or not, but that is a pretty damn good show. It's on Amazon. Well, I shouldn't have fused that at all. No, 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 no. That, there we go. That was effortful, but worth it, I feel. Why are you not pulling? Thank you. Oh, we might have to just pull that through. Get rid of that thing. There we go. So much easier. Now let's merge these elements and copy paste, free transform, flip horizontal, and kick it on down to the sound. Shunk. Pretty good. Merge that down. I just gotta get it within the lines. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have a lot of interesting shit to talk about tonight, I guess. It is what it is, I suppose. I like when I'm ranting about stuff. That's a lot of fun, but I can't fake it, you know? It's just it's either something that I'm really just rolling on or it ain't. Try to jumpstart it by talking about the hex crawl stuff and martial powers things, but it's just not. The spark isn't there. It's not firing. Oh well. At least I don't just come on here to talk about stuff. I actually have like an actual purpose for existing in this space. That's nice. There we go. All right. Do we like how that sits? Yeah, but I think I want to. Be a little OCD here. Make these things line up proper. The house got scooted. Fence got fuckered. Yeah, I now realize I used that line, that folder. Okay, there we go. Fence. You know what? I'm going to push the fence out into its own space. Beyond the bounds of house and barn lies the fence. Let's duplicate these layers. Let's free transform, flip vertical. Oh God, that's one square off. Almost perfect. Not bad. Gazpacho. Okay, great. So let's shift the house and the barn over 5 feet. There. So that end piece there on the barn is lining up with the fence. There, like that. So we can have this cool little corral area. We can do this and this, and then we can grab the barn. We can pull these things up so they're within 5 feet here. So you have a gap here. We can have a gate here to gap this off. Duplicate. No, I didn't want to duplicate all that stuff, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. Let's see. Barn, fence. Why do I have a barn copy in here? Nope, I don't need a barn copy. Thank you. This and this. There we go. I think we want to. Do something like that. Huh. Let's see about flip horizontal, and then let's try it this way. See how that feels. Spec there, I had to get rid of it before it got lost. Let's see. Maybe flip vertical. No, I don't think that's necessary. I'm going to let that go. But I am going to need to adjust this a bit. I'm going to take it out to here. Is that right? Yeah, this doesn't, okay, so I have to flip the house because this doesn't go anywhere, right? Free transform. What is way out there? Free transform, flip horizontal. Free transform. All right, let's. All right, I'm going to go into overtime for a few minutes because I just want to get this house position figured out, and then we'll be done. Bump, 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 bump. Oh, that's starting to line up really nicely. Oh, that's really nice. I really like how that lines up. I could also. What is so far out there? Anyway, whatever. I could do that and have the front, have the main deck be like the big deck be the main deck. That might not be a bad idea. That puts the this is putting the veggie garden like out of bounds of this protective area. Like if these walls are a protective line, your food source is outside that protective line. So we have to take the crops and we're gonna or the garden. Where'd my garden go? Oh yeah, it's in the crops. I'm going to ungroup that. Great, garden. Garden needs to be like here. Here-ish. And the crops, the cornfield needs to be down here. And then the garden. Oh, that's pushing us further away from the barn. I like this defense line. That's important to me. A man's home is his castle, as they say. And I like the food. Okay, so if we're looking at the 50-foot map, I like the food being away from the road because you have to get around. You have to get around the fortress to get to the wares. Maybe this will be the last thing I futz with tonight. Let's take the garden, and then free transform. Bum, 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 bum. No, it goes like that. Here, let's take our cornfield again, up like here, and then bum, bum, bum. Now just go back to that. Maybe. This is really just making me nerf. It was so quaint having the garden next to the house and the barn. But I'm having so much difficulty reconciling that. Oh! Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy enough. We'll go with garden, house, and fence, and pull those. Oops, we left the barn behind. We'll pull those up like this, and then we'll take the cornfield, bring it down like that. So for the barn, we can just have a door here, and we can have a door here. That's perfect. So we can have the stables like along here, and then we can have tack gear, etc. here, and then have doors open there. So we can take the fence, barn, house and garden. I can pull them this way. It's 10 o'clock, so it's time for me to shut my stream down and go get some sleep here in Seattle. That's starting to feel better-ish. There. I'm going to take the 50-foot map. I just want to pull it over here into the empty spot there for a heads up. Corn and stuff. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That feels right. Let's take our barn and scoot it into position. And let's take our house and scoot it into position. Fence looks good there. I should have another fence. Maybe I should have another fence here. So I'm figuring out if do I want to have? Yeah, I think I do. I want the house facing northward. So, all right, we're gonna leave it there. I think it was Da Vinci that said you always want to leave yourself in a state of frustration and eagerness to continue working when you actually stop, so that you reapproach the project eager to resolve it. So when we come back, we're going to figure out exactly what direction is this house supposed to be facing, and perhaps consider that we need to rebuild it to properly serve the purpose. But then from there, then we're going to build out the structure inside of the barn, and then we'll put roofs on these, and then we'll be able to colorize them, and then we'll be able to have clean empty, clean furnished, bloodied. I think are going to be the 3 arrays that we have. So that's it for today, guys. All right, great. Hey, thanks a lot for being here. If we get the 500 subscribers, I'll put my brushes up on Patreon and start doing stock art there. I'm here Monday through Friday in the morning, so I'll be back in about 8 hours for me to continue streaming Spelljammer artwork tomorrow morning, and I'll be back on Saturday morning to work on the 5e adventure commission I got recruited to build the book cover for. Yeah, like, subscribe, bell icon. I really appreciate you guys being there. Thanks a lot. See you on the other side.